Hello and welcome to another episode by Financial Learning. On today's video, we're going to be talking about a new dealer that has onboarded to be able to sell Mullen automotive product. We're also going to take a little bit of time to go over the dealer network, both in the US as well as internationally. And we're going to talk a little bit about previous sales, forecast sales, as well as some financing. So we're going to cover quite a bit in this video, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So starting off, we're going to rate today's PR. This is from June 10th, 2024. That's today. It says Mullen announces addition of New England area dealer and initial purchase order. Went ahead and highlighted some of the information I thought was most important in this PR, but of course, go ahead and read the entire PR for yourself. Go ahead and start out. The dealer name is Eco Auto. They are a Boston, Massachusetts area. They're dedicated to selling EV products, EV vehicles, in the New England area. They have an initial vehicle order of 10 Mullen Class 1s, as well as 3 of the Mullen Class 3 cabin chassis trucks. Again, they're going to be supporting Mullen's Northeast hub, their sales area. They're going to help with that region. And then on top of this one, this adds a total of 5 new dealers. If you remember, we've of course had Randy Marion Auto from the get-go, and since then we've been adding quite a few dealers to this network. So we're going to go ahead and a little bit further details as we go along. But before we do, a little bit about Eco Auto. You can see here from the bottom right, they are also a Centro authorized dealer. I thought that was interesting. There has been some discussions lately. You may have seen a video with a gentleman riding an electric scooter through a Centro Auto lot, and you did see a Mullen automotive van in that lot. So it does seem like we are starting to get some contacts from Centro, some dealers. We had a VP that came from Centro as well. So we're definitely starting to see some of the EV market members kind of intermingling here with Mullen Automotive. Maybe that has a little bit to do with Marianne McCurney, as she was previously from Centro. But definitely bring on some different key members and key dealers. At the bottom, you can see an actual image of that dealership. That is at Eco Auto. It's a pretty nice sized dealership there. As I mentioned, they do sell electric vehicles. You can go on their site now. They don't have any Mullen product yet, but you can see based off this PR that they will have an initial purchase order. That's going to get the vehicles there at their lot for potential customers to be able to test drive, and then go ahead from there. All right, getting into the US dealer network, I went ahead and added the new dealer. Let's just go ahead and recap that really quickly. Of course, our first one being Randy Marion Auto there in the Carolinas, followed with Pritchard EV there in the Iowa area. We then had the National Auto Fleet Group there in the California area, followed by both the Range Truck Group in Washington State and the Ziegler Truck Group there in the Minnesota state. So quite a spread. And then today we got announced for the Northeast region, Eco Auto there in the Massachusetts area. I did share on my social media account that I do plan on making a trip to Boston in September. So depending on how far that location is, I might swing by and see if they have any Mullen vehicles there to showcase. And I went ahead and made an international map. I think it's important now that we're starting to get more and more dealer networks outside the US. We do know that with the FTZ approval, there is some very good incentives, and there's also less in terms of homologation for different products. So we are starting to see some purchase orders and some sales coming out internationally. So starting at that top right, we'll talk about Antidoto. That is in the Swiss country. That as for that Mullen Go order for those initial 40 vehicles there. We also have, of course, in the Dominican Republic, we have the E-Motors Group. They have the campus vans. There's about 20 of those on the initial purchase order. They recently shared an update on their social media account. So if you haven't seen their social media account or any of that information, definitely go ahead and take a look at that as well. They're both on Instagram and Facebook. And then we had Gamma. There's many dealerships in the Balkan region. Gamma is a pretty large group. There's quite a few subsidiaries of Gamma Auto, but just kind of wanted to show some of the different locations that the Mullen's international dealership is going to be covering. And then, of course, the first international dealership we had first made note about was Newgate Motor Group, and that was there in the country of Ireland. And that was, again, for those Mullen Go vehicles. So now we have 2 different dealers that are putting out Mullen Go product, Newgate and Antidoto. And then you've got the campus vans, as well as there will be some other vehicles there at Electric Motors there in the Dominican, basically that entire island region down there. Starting to see some good product coming through there. And then even this Gamma, we heard that there's going to be 53 total vehicles, both the vans and the trucks, getting sent over to this specific area for distribution. So a lot of things internationally looking good for Mullen Automotive. And I told you we were going to go over some of the sales, some of the activities. There's a lot to digest. I did take some snippets from quite a few of Mullen's PRs and then put together just a table from my understanding of what's going on. So let's start at the top. Of course, we had the one PR that talked about Mullen having a total of 500 of their commercial vehicles. And when we say commercial vehicles, we're explicitly talking about the EV cargo vans, those homologated Class 1 vans, and the Class 3 trucks. So 500 total of those have been produced so far from the Tunica facility there in Mississippi. The second thing I wanted to bring up, it's on the same PR, is that second bullet. I just wanted to basically give a shout out to Mullen Automotive, to David Mishry, for sharing this information in a timely manner. It says expansion of its U.S. retail network with dealers located on the West Coast, Midwest, Mid-Atlantic regions expected to commence in June 2024. Here we are, folks, in June 2024, and we're already seeing dealerships across these regions, just as Mullen put out in their PR back in April. And then some of these green items, these have to do with some of these purchases. So first one I want to point out is going to be at Randy Marion Auto. We did see that they plan on moving 100 of their units, those commercial EVs, there in the Carolinas in the month of April. I went ahead and just split that out 50-50. So when we look at down at that table, I'll kind of go through that a little bit in further detail as we go. The next one I want to talk about was going to be from Bollinger Motors, actually, and there's a total of 50 vehicles. There's an agreement to sell 50 of these vehicles, so it has a total potential purchase value of $8.25 million. The next one you can see on the left-hand side, kind of middle there, the Grupo Cavel. This is the Dominican Republic dealer. They had an initial purchase order of 20 of the campus vans, and then you talk about the Gamma region, or Gamma, in the Balkan area, and this is for 53 commercial EVs. They talk a little bit about everything from urban delivery vehicles, commercial vans, and trucks. So for this 53, I kind of did an even third split between the campus vans, the commercial EV1 cargo vans, and the Class 3 trucks. And then you'll see on the right-hand side in the middle there, purchase order for 40 of the all-electric Mullen Goes. This again is in the San Benito, Switzerland area. That initial purchase order, and that is actually to be able to make, looks like it's going to be pizza delivery vehicles. They're going to upfit those. So those are just some of the exciting news articles. And then today, of course, we had the initial one with Eco Auto. They're going to have a total of 10 Mullen 1s. So those are those homologated Class 1 cargo vans, and then 3 of the Mullen 3 trucks. And then at the bottom right, this is a table from one of Mullen's quarterly earnings reports. Just want to point out the initial 25 campus vans that were part of the Randy Marion Auto delivery. Those Mullen was actually able to take revenue on. And then you just had a breakout of the rest. So you can see from the one quarter, there was 10 Class 3 trucks that were added. And then that December ending quarter, you could see a total of 231. So 131 Class 3 trucks then added to the 10 from the quarter before. That's 141. And then 100 of the Class 1 EV cargo vans in the December ending quarter. And just looking over all of those, I went ahead and put together some purchases. So for the Mullen Goes, the 40 purchases that we had from the San Benito, totaling about $440,000. We had the campus van. So this is a combination of 20 to Dominican Republic. This is a split of the 53 vehicles for the Gamma purchase. And then from the initial 25 from RMA. So adding all those together, that's where I came out with the 63 for the campus. Comes out to about $922,000. Urban delivery, these are the Class 1 EV cargo vans. And this is going to be a mixture of the 100 units from Randy Marion, as mentioned in April, so about 50 from that specific order. And then you're going to see, again, a split third of the 53 vehicles coming in from the Gamma purchase order. And then you may be asking me, how do I split it up? So I went ahead and rounded up on the campus vans and the Class 1 cargo vans because those are the least expensive. So just trying to hedge the bets there, and then I rounded down on the Class 3 truck. And then lastly, about the cab chassis, the Class 3 truck, I have a total of 70. Again, 50 from the 100 announcement from Randy Marion, and then a third of this 53 from the commercial EVs sold at the Gamma. That's the international in the Balkan region. Remaining invoiced, so if you look at that table down below, if you subtract some of these purchase orders from there, and you look at what's remaining out of that 100 from Randy Marion specifically, you're going to see there's still 81 that have been invoiced but not revenue generated on the urban delivery Class 1 EV cargo vans, and then 60 of the Class 3 trucks still remaining. So 60 plus 50, which is half of the 100, that's that 110, and that correlates with that table below between September ending and December ending quarters. We do know there were some January deliveries as well that were mentioned on some other PRs. I didn't go into the January information, just wanted to kind of put this stuff out there. So if you want to go ahead and add some additional information in the comment section, let me know. And then the Bollinger aspect, there's 50 of those trucks for that total of $8.25 million. So there's just some of the totals that I came up with. So we have the purchases, we have the remaining invoiced, and then we have a significant amount of products still remaining. I say significant, a little over 250 vehicles from that initial production lot. And then we have the Mullen Goes and the campus vans that will continue to be procured from overseas and be able to get delivered to these different dealers. So Mullen is starting to poise themselves in a pretty good situation, both domestically and internationally. All right, and you may be asking yourself, Ernie, what are you talking about? That amount of sales, that amount of pending invoiced revenue, that doesn't seem to be quite enough. And you would be correct. Based off of the cost of operations for Mullen Automotive this past year, they do need more funding. But based off of some of their latest filings, some of their announcements in that last 10Q, as well as some other follow-up filings, they did share with us that they have now a total of $150 million of capital getting infused. And from what I am seeing, there's an additional $50 million as well. So if you look at that SPA, that's actually $150 million by itself. And then the sale of some of those promissory notes and convertible warrants, that was a total of $50 million there. So it's actually about $200 million worth of financing. I'm not saying that that's all been given to Mullen already. Some of this is going to be done in tranches, but just think about that, folks. Based off of their current offerings in terms of vehicles, quantities, and everything like that, the amount of financing they're getting from these lenders seems to be pretty significant. So I'm wondering what else Mullen has up their sleeves. What type of orders potentially would we find out about soon? Obviously, when you're a financer coming in, you get full transparency from the company. They're going to bring you into their facilities. They're going to talk to you about their forecast plans, any of their new announcements they have coming down the line. You get that insider information because you are providing them with financing. So it's going to be interesting to see what the shareholders get in terms of additional information. Obviously, that helps correlate with this significant amount of financing coming in. And then you can see the two offering of sales amounts there. This is with that discount kind of added in. So the 50 million, actually the total offering amount comes out to 52 million. And then the other 150 million, you get about $156 million there with that discount kind of added on top of that. So that's the 200 million that I'm referring to right there, folks. So again, just want to put that in perspective. This is not financial advice, it's just my thoughts on everything. As we're seeing the different dealerships popping up, we're seeing some of the different purchase orders coming in. Still waiting to see a rather large one. Will be interesting to see when that comes in, which dealer is getting it, if any, and then what's the plan on implementation in terms of production for those vehicles. All right, made it to the end, folks. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on all the content covered today. Give me some ideas for future content. What would you like to see covered in terms of Mullen Automotive? Once again, I am not paid. I get no compensation in any way, whether share-based or monetary based from Mullen Automotive. I am just a mere investor in Mullen. I do have a bullish outlook for the company. I am starting to see some of their activities kind of coming together. I'm seeing some high amount of financing coming through their way, which again gives me a bullish outlook. Again, I could be a little bit impartial because I am an investor in the company, but just want to share that all with you all. And remember, this is not financial advice. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you on the next one.